Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is December 16th, 2024. And will the price of Bitcoin continue to rise? And will it rise in a super impulsive manner? Will it also lift the rest of the market up? Altcoins. Will we get a massive bull run from all of these buys that Michael Saylor has been putting in? Or is this the ugly top? A top that keeps going up and to the right, but a top nonetheless. I'm here to answer that for you. If that sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Hope everyone's having a great day and staying safe amidst all the volatility. Let's get into it straight away with Bitcoin on the 4-hourly time frame. Okay, let's clean this up. So, a lot of you messaged me this morning, right? Clients, non-clients, some viewers, neighbors messaged me. Hey, Dean, what do you think about this? Like, what are you saying? Are you still of the belief that this is a top? And I said yes, right? And then I wrote a post posting on the community section on YouTube explaining why. And graphically, this is why. Graphically, if I had to sort of concisely explain my reasoning for believing that, one, we're still in distribution. We're still in the confines of the distributive consolidation that we've been in for the past 25 days. This is why. You can clearly see here, I've marked out a top resistance of the price, and it has yet to break. It has been tested once, twice, thrice, but it is yet to break. So I was quite confident in saying, yes, I will acknowledge that this is a very bullish distribution as far as distributive channels go. I will acknowledge that, yes, if you're looking at this as a head and shoulders, your right shoulder is already higher than your head. That doesn't necessarily invalidate the head and shoulders bearish reversal pattern. That just makes it more tricky to read. Okay, I understand people wanting to buy this. Psychologically, you don't want to get left behind. You don't want to miss out, right? Especially if you've been holding out. Especially if you're going on social media, everybody's telling you that you're missing out, you're an idiot for not having bought, and look, all of this. Let me say this. If we're correct in saying that this is a top, you will laugh at this type of modest gain done in, look, it's taken 7 days almost to go up 11%. If we're correct, once the actual bull market starts, you're going to laugh. And let me say another thing. Do you want to see and do you want to know the actual power and alacrity and verve and strength of a true impulsive move? Watch what happens if and when we hit this first target. Observe and study that price action, because that price action will be actually pure impulsive price action, clean price action. Look at how fast that happens, and then flip it on its head and think, ooh, I'm glad I didn't think that was an actual impulse. That was an actual bull market run up, because the actual bull market run up will do much more in much less time. So many people are not familiar with the actual quality of the price action that we experience in an actual bull market. And as I said before in my previous videos, for those of you who are newly subscribed, welcome. Thank you for your subscriptions. I don't think, based off of my analysis on the high time frame, that we're in the proper bull market as of yet. I think it's right around the corner. It is basically on the other side of our retest of 70K, 66 to 70K. Okay, we can get into the specifics later on once we get closer to that. But basically, the retest of that region, after that happens, I'm completely bullish. And that is when you buy every dip. Almost quite literally, you buy every dip because you're quite literally in that impulsive price action that goes, 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 5 waves up, 3 waves down, then doesn't stop for months. And you just close your eyes and buy. Obviously, your retracement, you have to be careful, because you still retrace. Everything retraces. Nothing goes up in a straight line. But it's a different game. We're still not there yet. We're still in the choppy chop. The consolidation chop. The corrective chop. This is one thing that I will say on my read of this price action that we've been in for the past 25 days. That tells me, in my experience, that isn't what you think it is. That isn't what you think it is, okay? So again, we have these tops, right? And every single time you get rejected here, all right? So I do expect another rejection. And again, my first target for Bitcoin to the downside is 86.4. Okay, that hasn't changed. Although we've gone up higher than I thought, our first target hasn't changed only because the retest of that, so the counter of this move, has to come down to the 0618. Okay? Actually, let's see. Maybe it does change. Let me remeasure it. I'm sorry. I'm going to do this real quick. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, yeah. Sorry, it does change. Quite substantially. It does change quite substantially. I think the first target now is much lower. And it has to be much lower. Do you see my reasoning there? It's because the idea is that the midline of the channel has to be retested before leaving the confines of the channel. That has yet to be done. So if we come down, and this makes sense if you think about it. Think about what it took for our distribution channel to look so bullish, to be so skewed up and to the right. Literally, Michael Saylor is buying entire percentage points of the available supply of Bitcoin. Billions of dollars every single week. All right. So my read has to be dynamic. The reads are dynamic. This is what makes everything so difficult to read. When we were here, my invalidation was at a certain point, but my invalidation was based off of this. And now, the way I read it, if I'm reading, 3 pairs of A/B basing or 2 degrees of A/B basing and a pivot a la Elliott wave analysis, this is my initial break. Sorry, this is my initial break. This is my initial counter. This is my secondary break. This is my secondary counter. You see, the secondary counter, as long as it's within the 1618, inverse 1618 of the initial break, you're fine. It's legal. So you could say that's an A wave, that's a B wave. You could say that's a small A, you could say that's a small B. You could say then my pivot is right here. That's my alpha, that's my beta. And that's all she wrote. My count was different last time I counted this based off of what I was seeing. But again, I want you to understand how dynamic this is, how challenging it is. It's kind of like trying to read a moving target. It's not useless. It's not a useless exercise. No. It's just you have to understand just how tricky it is to try and trace and track corrective price action. There's so much variability to it. It can look so many different ways. And so when I was actually on Twitter a few moments ago, reading the biggest influencers that I personally even respected throughout the bear market because, they had cogent analysis. One thing I don't respect is arrogance in the market. One of the most decorated traders, I don't think he's the best, but he's well regarded, Peter Brent. He has a saying. He says, strong opinions hold weakly. Weakly, Weakly. So strong opinions held weakly, meaning he's all about his opinion, his read. He trusts his read, he trusts his work, but then upon, reviewing more information or, seeing certain things in different perspectives, he changes his opinion. That's kind of the attitude that you have to have as a trader because the market is so dynamic and this is hard. All those people on Twitter, it's almost like they don't understand. To be successful, not only as a chartist, but as a trader, it takes a certain amount of luck. All that we do is read probabilities. So when you're reading probabilities, because it's not 100%, there's always that amount, that percentage that's left up to chance. If you get lucky, you think you got it perfectly, right? Even the best of the best get it wrong sometimes. And so, like, when I was reading some of these opinions, like, you guys are idiots if you're not buying this. Oh my God, how do you guys think this is going down? You guys are fools. We're going to hit this or that. I can tell they're not seasoned. I can tell the market has yet to humble them. I can tell they don't have much experience in the market because an experienced trader has been humbled by the market. The market is nothing except humbling. It's humbling, right? And I'm a profitable trader, win more than 50% of my trades, and I've turned $5 into 3,000. I've done decent things in this market, but the market humbles you. So, when you see that, if you don't have experience, if any trader or chartist speaks arrogantly about the market, they're not experienced. That's all I'll say. That being said, I'm still very confident in this read. And looking at this price action, not only do I believe that this is corrective and we are in distribution, but I think that everybody, the sentiment, right? When you're doing sentiment analysis, it's what? Usually the herd is incorrect. 2. The market makes the fools out of most. How many people think they're geniuses continuing to buy this? And how many people will be humbled by this move right here? Just think about it. The market doesn't reward the most. There's not enough for everybody to win. It's a zero-sum game. That means some people win, some people lose. Most people are going to lose. And there's going to be a disproportionately small amount of winners. Like really, people who get really lucky or are really good at this, right? They're going to win by shorting this or by sitting this out. And a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money on that move. And that is what we call max pain. People keep trying to tell me max pain's up here. Absolutely not. You've been going up and to the right for 25 days. Max pain is quite clearly over here. And I'm sure if you looked at a liquidation heat map, I don't even need to reference one, but you can go on CoinMarketCap, or is it CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, whatever. You can see there's probably tons of liquidity right here. Tons. And this makes sense, right? Because look, this is the midline of our multi-year channel right here. So this would be a nice intermittent bounce area. So I would not be surprised if Bitcoin put this move in right here, a 27% move. Goodness gracious. Imagine the smell, as they say on crypto Twitter. Imagine what will happen if that happens, okay? And, we can break this down. We can say, Okay, if our initial target is now 76, right? What will it look like? It'll probably look something like this. Again, matriculations happen in 5 waves. As per Elliott wave theory, that first bounce will be on the midline, bounce up, come down, boom, boom, boom. That's what I'm seeing. I won't. I mean, I can't unsee it. It's very hard to unsee. That move is high probability. It's a high probability read, just as it was when we were over here. It's just as much a high probability read when we're here. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. And again, I do see that bounce up to the midline right here, because every channel that I've read in my 8+ years of reading charts, every channel that breaks down or breaks up or out has to retest the midline before you completely leave it. And so if we're going to leave the confines of this 25+ day channel, do expect that move to happen, and it'll probably happen here. So that's a nice little long opportunity. I mean, if you're really good at what you do, if you're keen, right? I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Um, buying over here, it's probably a that's a pro's trade, I would say. Wouldn't expect anybody that's not very comfortable with trading to do that, but do expect for us to go down. I still see that in the market. So I mean, a lot of people are really. I mean, it's understandable, right? How many people are going to be excited about a Bitcoin all-time high coming out of a bear market? Obviously, right? But you have the president of El Salvador bragging about his PNL. Like, it's just top signals left and right. Michael Saylor bragging, saying he's buying. Look, as much Bitcoin as Michael Saylor buys, he can't push the price up until and unless, well, he can't definitively push the price up. He can't properly push the price up until and unless he pushes the dollar down. People have to understand there's two sides to this equation. Yes, you buying the asset will appreciate the value of the asset, right? That'll by definition make the chart go up, the number go up. But the other half and more important part of it, with much more liquidity than Michael Saylor, the US dollar, the relative value of the US dollar has to go down. If the relative value of the US dollar is going up, as this chart suggests, and we've been looking at this for quite some time on this channel, look, in the immediate short term, the US dollar currency index is in an uptrend. And right now, it's at a neckline looking to break out. It's basically been consolidating at resistance, right? Basically flipping old resistance into new support. Very likely to have this move. We talked about that ad nauseum on this channel. If the US dollar currency index goes up, it doesn't matter what Michael Saylor does, how much money he borrows. Goodness gracious, talk about a degen. Borrows to buy Bitcoin. He owns now 2% of the supply. Guys, the liquidations in Bitcoin are going to be epic, mostly because of Michael Saylor. Who knows what his liquidation point is, what his margin call is? I would be interested to know what it was. It's probably, if he's smart, in the 30s or 20s. But goodness gracious, talk about a trade that is how do you say, it's a heavy trade. That's what we call it, a heavy trade. Like, bro, you gotta diversify a little bit. Like, it's dangerous. Yeah, he's, we praise him for his commitment and his love of the asset, but his risk management sucks. Think about it. That's horrible risk management. Like, you're all in on one fucking thing. And if you get it wrong, imagine the smell. If Michael Saylor gets liquidated, you're all finished. We're all finished. That shit's going to zero. Because, I mean, the cascade of liquidations would be... I don't even want to think about it. In any case, I digress. This US dollar currency index is likely going up, which means the price of Bitcoin is going down because 60% of all commerce in the world happens using the US dollar. And so the relative price of the US dollar goes up, right? It's a simple equation. You buy Bitcoin with dollars. Okay. This is, I don't know what grade math it is, but it's elementary math. If your denominator appreciates, the total value of, the equation of the ratio goes down, right? The higher this is, the lower your total is. So the relative value of Bitcoin will go down. Okay, that's the idea. That's why it's not only about how many people buy Bitcoin, but where the US dollar is. And that's why the US dollar currency index is such a great indicator. So that's pretty much all I have. That's kind of my rant. That's kind of my spiel and where I see the market going. Guys, good luck and congratulations to those of you who held with conviction. Some of my clients holding with conviction. I know it hasn't been easy, especially with everybody, your grandma, your mom, your uncle. Hey, look at Bitcoin. You're probably like, oh shit, maybe Dean's wrong. I need to buy. Like, stick to your guns. You're probably in the top 5%. I can't imagine a lot of people are sitting this out, and you will soon have out traded 95% of the market. And that's kind of when you always look back at the people who have out traded others, they're always in the minority, and it was always against a herd mentality. So, the facts or the circumstances are on your side to win this trade. And staying in cash is a trade. It's a trade. You don't have to short the market. Staying in cash and not buying in on a move is a trade. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value. Consider buying me a coffee at the pinned comment below or joining my crypto portfolio consultation service. Please understand that there's only so many clients that I can take on. So after I hit a certain peak or a certain level, certain number, I will close the service because I just can't stretch myself too thin. There's only so many hours in the day, and I don't want to shortchange anyone. All right, take care, guys. Bye.